What's going on? Today I have a conversation with my friend Guardian from across the pond where we talk about Star Wars Visions and Bad Batch. Coming up next. Hey Guardian, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited that you are back for another little edition of some Star Wars chat. Everybody, we were talking before we hit record that we are actually going to begin doing this on a more ongoing basis every once in a while. So I want to introduce you guys to the first official installment of Galaxy Gab with Guardian. So it's basically the time where two Star Wars fans get together, and I really get to hear from Guardian, and I know he's got a deep love of Star Wars that I love to be able to tap into, because I feel like when I talk to him, I feel like I'm more of, I'm a bit more of a casual Star Wars fan than I realized.
I can show you the secrets of the dark side.
Yes. Show me all of the secrets, the mysteries of the Force. So, you guys, today we thought we would spend some time talking about the Bad Batch, things that we love, things that we, maybe wish went differently, and then talking a little bit about Star Wars Visions and that trailer and what we anticipate there. So I figure maybe we start off actually talking about Star Wars Visions, actually, if you don't mind, and then we can get to a lot of the Bad Batch chat there. So I don't know about you. Are you an anime fan in general?
Not
really?
The only anime I've really watched is Pokemon Season 1.
Okay. And so I'm glad you even said that, because actually in my brain I had never really thought about that as anime. But when I was watching this trailer, like first of all, my brain is all over the place now, because I get excited and then my brain doesn't want to think right. So one of the things that I really love about this trailer and about what it looks like is going to be coming actually connects to one of the things that I've struggled with Clone Wars, Rebels, and a little bit with Bad Batch, is that this looks to be something where they're going to be packing as much quality story in an episode as possible. Because a lot like what they're doing with the What If series, they're trying to tell like a whole arc, in 30 minutes, and not like take you over this long journey to tell the story. Because it looks like they're pulling multiple different anime styles and studios together, and each one is telling a different story within the galaxy. And one of those looked totally like Pokemon. So when you said that, I was like, wait a minute, that totally looks like a Pokemon episode.
Normally,
so
I don't.
No, I was going to say, before I say too much, what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, normally I don't consider Pokemon as an anime, but people kept saying to me, "Oh, that's an anime. That's an anime, whether you like it or not." So I don't know, but I saw a tweet on this show, the trailer, and someone said this looks like it can be a good show, but just not a very good Star Wars show, which it keeps me thinking anytime like I see something Visions. Because when I look at it, I don't really think Star Wars. I think more Samurai Jack, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? It's funny that you said that, though, because I remember from like the opening, I want to say it was like one of the opening elements of the trailer, where like this looks like the samurai sword or whatever is being handed to, and it's like, oh. And when they open it up, you see the lightsaber. So it sounds like maybe you or some others might be like, "Oh, what's going on?" But I was like, "Yes!" Like, because I actually am a huge fan of like samurai culture. Like I have samurai swords that I've had over the years, and like that whole thing, like I get stirred up about that. So then when I see it brought into the Star Wars world, I was like, that totally works.
I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Because I felt the same way about Mandalorian, because I love the Western era. Like everything about it I love. So when the Mandalorian came out and I found out it was a Western, I fell in love with it. Yeah,
that's a great point, because it really is a blending of those two different styles, that genre of, so Mandalorian, of the Western with the Star Wars galaxy, and it totally worked. I mean, it's different, right?
Yeah.
So I think it will, that appealed to a different audience to bring them in, and it was enough of complete saturation in the Star Wars world to really continue to keep the Star Wars fans like loving it. And I'm hoping that's what'll be true with Visions. That while they're, so I don't think all of them are Samurai Jack feel. Like I feel like one of those definitely has that, and then one's got like your Goofy Kitty Pokemon feel. You know? And then there was one that I love. So from my generation, there's one that looked like Voltron. I was like, yes. I was like, that, I grew up on Voltron cartoons. Let's go. So I was getting super pumped, and I was excited with the sense of like there won't be any filler episodes that I'm gonna need to like push through. Skip. In order to get to so I'm excited about that, man. Have you seen or heard anything else online regarding it that you think is interesting?
No, but it really reminds me of the original 2003 Clone Wars. Like, it was like short stories, it got along with it quickly, very action-packed. I think it has the same feel, and I think since fans missed the original Clone Wars, I think that's what they're trying to aim for here.
Now, when you say the original Clone Wars, I mean, when that started, did it, so this is where you get to educate me on the Clone Wars history, because I was actually late to the Clone Wars party. When it first came out, was the movie first, or was
basically what happened was originally Cartoon Network asked the creator of Samurai Jack to make a series. So what he did was he made a quick 2003 Clone Wars series, just like short stories, action packed, not much dialogue, just gets the point across. Then originally, a few years later, George Lucas came along wanting to reboot the franchise, which then came along the actual Clone Wars we know today. And originally, the Clone Wars movie was just 4 different episodes, but George decided it would be better to start off with the film instead of the actual series.
You know what I just realized, Guardian?
What?
I've never seen this original Clone Wars.
It's on Disney Plus.
What's that?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, gosh. I saw that it was released and I didn't remember to watch it. I think it came out while I was on sabbatical, I want to say. Or how long ago did they release it on these? Because I remember seeing that.
I think it came out when we last spoke.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I remember speaking about it.
Oh, did
they released a couple of episodes along with it. Well, not episodes, but shows. Like the Ewok Show from the 80s, I think.
Yes. And I remember that because that was something that I remembered watching when I was a kid. So I totally remember that coming out. And I because I have a visual memory now of the series that you're talking about. And it definitely had different animation style. And and I think in my mind, I was just like, well, that's more Clone Wars stuff. And I am like, I know Star Wars fans all over the galaxy are getting upset as they hear me talk about Clone Wars right now, because there's so many people that are like passionate about the Clone Wars. And I think so many people, and I get it, it's like they were watching it as it was coming out, and it was like the only Star Wars content, you know what I mean?
At the time, yeah,
exactly. When you're watching
other than the games,
exactly. So it's like, I get it. And it now even holds more than just the value of what's in it, but like the value of that time in your life that you watched.
Yeah, the nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. Because like now when I try to introduce, some of the original Star Wars movies to fans who've never watched it, before, they're like, that's bad. What is this? I'm like, no, but like you got to understand, in the late 70s, early 80s, this was
really good.
Yeah.
This was top of the range.
Right. So I totally get it. But like for me, I didn't have like when it came out, I wasn't in a place where I was even clued in to the fact that there was, stuff like that. And then when I had heard about it, I didn't have the places like the services or whatever that it was on, so I couldn't watch it.
It was on Cartoon Network exclusively. I remember the original Clone Wars was like in between shows, they'd just air it because it was only like 5 minutes. They'd put it through and then they'd roll on to the next show.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, I didn't have any of that. And then when it went to Netflix, that's when I was like, oh yeah, well maybe I should watch this. And then I was like, oh gosh, how many seasons? Like that's a
For me,
lot.
when it came on Netflix, I only had the 2 seasons, so I used to watch that over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And I can pretty much remember every episode from season 1 and 2 from off by heart.
Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched it a lot. That's all I used to watch.
And so I remember when I turned it on, I was excited. I was like, all right, yeah, okay, cool, let's go. But then I remember when the first dip in the kind of storyline for me happened, and I was just like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of dragging here. Like, why do I care about this episode? And that was when I was discovering, oh man, there's actually just gonna be episodes throughout this thing that I'm just gonna be like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that, and now I gotta skip this, but I couldn't skip it.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I was, and I think we talked about this last time. I feel like we're rehashing a lot, but the reason why I was really into it, I think was now that I think about it, it was Solo.
Yeah.
When Solo came out, and I was like, I need to know what I missed. I need to go.
Solo's underrated. Solo's one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Really?
I don't know why people hate it.
Now, so I would never call myself a hater of it. I think what I was not a huge fan of was the portrayal of Han Solo. Like I didn't think he really hit with that. Other than that, I mean, I thought it was cool. I liked Woody Harrelson's character in it. I liked clearly I liked the reintroduction of Darth Maul, because I'm like the noob in the theater, like, wait a minute, isn't he dead? You know, and my buddy's like, what, you haven't seen the Clone Wars? I'm like, oh great.
More Star Wars.
I mean, I wasn't mad, but I was just like, I thought I was okay to skip that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, you know. Yeah. So speaking of, filler episodes, I should have said it that way. I should have said it that way.
No, I get it.
So Bad Batch.
Oh no. Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So tell me, we're not gonna go back into Clone Wars, Bad Batch. I mean, I think for a lot of people, this series, Bad Batch, season 1,
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
I think did it. Well, let me ask you this way: did it feel to you like an extension of Clone Wars, and a good enough extension that you're not like mad that they? Because sometimes when they do spinoffs and it's like whack, you're like, why did you do that? You're messing. Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah. Did it feel like that, or did it feel good enough to be a spinoff?
For me, it felt like it was its own thing.
Okay.
Because it wasn't Clone Wars, but it wasn't necessarily Rebels.
Right.
Because it had aspects from both, obviously with Hera and Captain Rex, but it felt like the in between.
Yeah. So what did you? Let's start with what you really appreciated or what you really enjoyed about it.
I really appreciated like the episodes of Crosshair and the episode of Scorch. That was an amazing episode.
Crosshair. So I'll say this. I think I would agree with you. Crosshair was my favorite character. Well, when I say it that way, I don't mean like, oh, I love Crosshair, but I think they did a really good job of trying to develop him a bit there and make him, I don't know, more engaging, more interesting. I was super bummed when he turned.
Yeah.
Because I was like, before we even knew, what the big arc of the show was, I was drawn to him. I was like, yeah, man, he's hardcore. Yeah. Look how he can shoot. Wow.
He gets things.
Yeah. And like Hunter's cool. Like Hunter's, kind of like the heart of the batch,
Yeah.
And even though I think Omega was like the soul. Oh, God. I think she became like the soul though, of like, really, I don't know, like I'm all over the place, but like the way that she dove in, even ridiculously, after AZ in the end there.
See, thing with AZ is I remember him from the Fives arc, and I love AZ because of it. So it kind of made me tear up a little bit when I saw him drown a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they should have just left it at that, honestly. I don't think Omega should have gone after him.
Yeah, he should have died. He should have died. Like
He deserved a hero's death.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And then it made it also, I don't know, where you're like, oh, is Crosshair now gonna come back because he rescues? You know, he does the little grappling thing, and it's like, oh, is he now deciding to return to the batch or whatever? And then he's just like, oh, we're even. I was like, oh, so you?
I thought he was just gonna shoot Omega.
Let's get it over with.
Just the end. Just the title, the credits roll after that.
Was that you thought that, or you were hoping that?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Oh god. So for me, I think I also appreciated, like I said, Crosshairs, but I also appreciated the story that they're trying to develop. I see with Hunter and Omega, and kind of like that sense of family going on there.
Yeah.
And I liked that they brought in characters like Fennec. Is that right? Fennec?
Yeah.
Oh
my god, Cad Bane.
Yeah. You lose your mind when Cad Bane was there?
Yeah, I literally screamed. Cad Bane is by far one of my favorite Clone Wars characters, and when I saw him, it just...
You're like, oh, delicious. Yes.
The music, the whole like sort of, I don't know, his ambience, should I say? It felt perfect.
Nice. So I mean, I think they were wise to give you diehard Clone War fans, you know, those little like, oh, here you go, here's a little Rex for you, and here's a little Cad Bane, and, you know.
If it honestly, I skipped a lot of episodes because if it wasn't a Rex episode at the beginning, I just turned it off.
Oh wow!
I did go back and rewatch it, but I only wanted to see Rex. That was my one objective.
Like, I'm here for Rex.
Yep.
Nice. So let's transition. What were some of the things that you're like, oh, why? Or I really did not like that about it.
Omega.
Omega.
Yeah. My opinion changed halfway through the season where I liked her.
Okay.
But then she changed again because she started being very annoying again.
Yeah. So since our last conversation, not a whole lot has changed. Although it did, but then it changed.
Yeah.
What about Omega, like just the fact that she's just got that annoying sibling kind of vibe? Is that what it is?
No, it's just her voice.
So wait, time out. Is this like your Jar Jar Binks? Is that what it is?
Yes. Honestly, I don't mind Jar Jar Binks.
Oh gosh.
I can watch the movies and be like, oh, that's Jar Jar.
Jar Jar Binks destroyed the reintroduction of
Star Wars. Yeah.
It was just like, what are you doing?
Why?
Yeah. And I was like, it would have been one thing, and I guess that's why I see it as a similarity for you to Omega. It would have been one thing if it was like a super side character. Yeah. That was like there for, a scene or something, but it's like, oh, this is a new core character to this storyline. And it's like, I don't. Misa hates this character.
For me, Omega, she has. I just feel like she changes every episode. Like she goes from donkey, and then oh no, he can die.
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not very. I don't know the word for it.
Like consistent.
Yeah, that's it.
That's one of the things that I definitely struggle with different shows and movies is like I feel like the writers for most these they focus, well, when they're even trying to do any work, they focus on writing the story, right? And like
the characters
and but like when you're doing the dialogue and you're trying to bring these characters along in the events of the story, you got to understand that all of that actually develops this character into who we understand them to be. So if you're all over the place with the character, it's like
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like this doesn't track with
I guess it's how I felt about Luke in episode 8. I feel like in episode 9 he was kind of done justice, even though I don't like that movie. But in episode 8, it just didn't feel like Luke.
Yeah.
It felt like a rehashed Yoda.
That's interesting. Although, I mean, so 8 that's the Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
And that was the one where we had extended for the first time like engagement with Luke. Like we were after episode 7. At the end of that, or episode 7, it was like, where's Luke, right?
We got to see Luke at the end, but he only got a cameo. It didn't even get a line.
Gotcha. And so then episode 8, then it's like, okay, now we're finding out a bit more. So when you say rehash Yoda, like I get that understanding from you're now an aged, guy in the Force, but for me, one thing that I love about Yoda is like there was always I felt
sense
like
of hope.
Yeah. And this was like, this is
There's no hope here. This is the end.
Yoda.
Yeah.
And that was a rough one for me for that fact, because that was one of the things that I always loved about Star Wars was like they were so strong on that hope side. And my journey, and in another world, I'm a pastor, so like hope is like my brand, So when I see that you just pulled the hope out of who's now like the wise mentor, it's like, ooh,
that doesn't work.
Oh, about that. Yeah. So I totally get that. Well, cool, brother. Are there any other thoughts about the Bad Batch or Vision or anything else in the galaxy?
There's only one thing I need to get about the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
I really think Echo should have talked with Rex about Fives, because Echo might still think Fives is alive. He might try and find him, and in all, I just feel like Echo got done dirty in season 1.
You know what he did? Like, Echo was like, I thought he was a character that we would be anticipating a lot more of. I felt like he was one of the only ones that we really knew much of.
Yeah.
At least from my remembrance. And then it was just like he was kind of like a non-character.
He's just there.
Yeah. They didn't. I mean, they developed Wrecker more than they did Echo.
Yeah. I wanted to see Echo find out about Fives, because I feel like that would have been a very interesting conversation with Rex.
Right.
And I think it would have been like really heartfelt.
Yeah. Are there any things that you are hopeful about with season 2? If you've thought about what might be to come at all, or?
Well, there's only 2 things I want to see. I want to see more Crosshair, and I want to see more Echo, obviously.
All right. Maybe we'll get a Crosshairs Echo showdown. I mean, that's unlikely.
I wouldn't be surprised if Echo turned with Crosshair.
Ooh. That would be interesting.
That wouldn't be the biggest surprise, since they've kind of, pushed him to the side.
Yeah, no, that's true. Interesting. Awesome. Well, hey man, I really appreciate the time today. Can't wait to chat with you again. Honestly, I'm guaranteeing you we're gonna have a conversation when the Star Wars Visions show releases.
Can't wait.
So I'm hoping and if you're down, we might even talk more frequently. Maybe they won't be as long conversations, but like we might have a chat every episode, depending. I don't want to promise anything.
It sounds good nonetheless.
Okay, all right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Guardian, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes. And I think if you enjoyed this one, you'll probably love this video or this playlist right here. Go ahead and check those out, and I'll see you back here next time on Freedom Story Entertainment. Peace.